Hi folks, hope you're doing well. It's 1:30 on the 17th of August 2020. So I made a video last night about United losing to Sevilla. Well, I made a video about the game. I didn't really make a video about them losing. Couldn't be asked to do one afterwards, really. Not after that performance. They didn't deserve it. Anyway, I'm going to make a quick video now about the players because this, as many people recognise, is the issue, really. So yeah, I'd say you start with goalkeepers. De Gea, if you can sell him now, sell him. I don't think keep him. You got Sergio Romero and you got Dean Henderson. I'd say keep those two. You've also got Lee Grant and you've got Joel Pereira as well. So you've got enough goalkeepers, really. So you don't need to keep someone whose confidence is not great, whose defenders aren't really confident in him right now. So if you can sell him, if you can make some money on him, sell him. You don't need to replace him. Not next season. You've got Romero and you've got Henderson. I keep Henderson at the club. If you sell De Gea, keep Henderson, keep Romero, and the others as well. That gives you 4 goalkeepers. You can go and loan another one if you really need to. So defenders. Out of the defenders, you've got to get rid of Jones, Delo, Rojo, Smalling. That'll do. For now. Hi. So you've got definitely get rid of Jones, Delo, Rojo, Smalling. That's 4 defenders to ship out. Now, there should be no doubt. I mean, Delo maybe there's a doubt over Delo, so maybe you can keep him for another season. But again, I think if you can make money on him, if you can sell him for a decent price, sell him. I mean, Rojo is a player that, I've liked Rojo when I said him. Smalling has got better. It's going to Roma, so even Smalling could stay. Jones has to go. I don't think there's any fan of United who really believes that Jones is going to improve. Now, of course, if Twanzebe is going to come forwards and do a job, then you can probably look at saying, like, Rojo, definitely go. Because we've got Twanzebe coming through. The problem is Twanzebe has been injured a lot, in which case, not really reliable. Williams is reserve at best right now. He's not first team player. Last night, in fact, second goal and for the first goal, he was really partly to blame. Certainly for the first goal, he should have blocked that ball. As a wide man, your job as a wide defender, left back, right back, wing back, whatever. If you're there with the defender, your job is to stop that ball coming in. If you've got a right-footed player, your job is to pull that player onto his left foot. You don't want him going onto their right, going past you and knocking the ball in. That is something. And the player that knocked the ball in for the second goal didn't really run past him. Just a little jink and knock the ball in. Williams should have blocked that. That's his job. If he's a knowledgeable, decent defender, then he would have known his job is really to take that player onto his left foot. Yeah. So bring that player inside rather than outside, because that's where that player doesn't really want to go. If he's right-footed, he doesn't want to come inside. So you take him there. So, no. At the moment, he is a player that reserve. Twanzebe reserve. Fosu Mensah Don't know about him. Maybe you can do better. If Delo stays, obviously reserve subs bench at best, but he's going to have to work so much harder in training. Yeah, because his first season, Delo, he looked really good going forward. He was crossing the ball beautifully well. Last season, not the same person at all. Maybe he's been asked to do a different job. I don't know. So we move on to midfielders. You've got. Okay. For midfielders, definitely Pereira has to go. Lingard has to go. He offers nothing. Not really. I'd get rid of Mata as well. Although I would Mata. See, Mata's a good person to have around. He's a nice lad. Seems to have a good attitude, so he's a good person to have around. So do you get rid of him as well? Maybe not. Maybe for this season you don't. Maybe you keep Mata. But 2 out of the 3 of Mata, Jesse, and Pereira. Get rid of 2 out of the 3. I mean, front line, you basically, yeah. I mean, again, why is Chong counted as part of the front line? He isn't. He's been loaned out, I think. So discount him. Igalo's leaving in January anyway. I certainly think long term, Rashford has to go. I would get rid of Fred. I'd get rid of Daniel James. But at the moment, with James, again, yesterday during that game, why bring James on? James operates best when you've got a team that's attacking us, where there's space for him to run into. Yesterday, there wasn't space. Sevilla weren't offering space. And again, James was useless because for the whole season, he's not really worked on what he does when he plays against teams that don't offer space. He seems clueless. He hasn't got the foggiest notion whatsoever. So yeah, I'd get rid of him. I don't even think he's good enough to be a sub, because the point of a sub is that you want a sub to come on and have an impact where he doesn't have an impact. So long term, out of that midfielders, there's 10 midfielders there. Well, those 10, I mean, Garner, what's he doing there? Don't know. How many games has he actually played? Well, out of that, I'd get rid of Mata, Jesse, Pereira, James, and Fred. And Matic, if you're talking about long term, yeah, Matic has to go because next season he's 32, season after he's 33. His legs are going to start to fail him. I give Tom another year before putting him on there. Probably has to be got rid of. List Garner, I have no idea. I'm not seeing enough of him, so I can't really comment on him. So defenders, go back to defenders a second. Long term, or short term, Jones definitely has to go. Rojo has to go. I think Smalling probably has to go. I think he's a player of the past for United. I don't think he's going to come back. I don't think he wants to. So, yeah, to get rid of 3. Short term. Long term, I would say if Delo doesn't improve, you've got to have Delo. Lindelof, I'd get rid of Lindelof. I think he just isn't it. I think Bailly's going to go. I'd rather not get rid of Bailly. I think I like him. I like him as a player. I think he's probably our best central defender, although that's not really saying much. And Williams, I'd give him another season or 2, but then I wouldn't give him longer than that, because if he's not good enough after 2 more seasons, he never will be. So front line, yeah, I mean, Chong, again, I I don't even know how old Chong is. Let's have a look. You can hear me. 20 years old. So, see, personally, I'd let Chong go. I'd let him go. I've seen him play for United. He was no better than Gomez in any way, shape, or form. He's quite tall. He's got a bit of pace. He can take players on. He generally didn't. His skill on the ball wasn't impressive. He'd often try and run past people but leave the ball behind. So, yeah. I say see how he develops this season if he goes out on loan. Maybe give him a bit of a season after that to see if he can actually put himself into Man United first team and yeah. But he's someone who I would suggest goes. Rashford goes as well, as I say. I wouldn't keep him. Well, as I said with Rashford, as I said in the game yesterday, he blows lukewarm for most of the season and then occasionally hot. And for a team that wants to do better than third and 3 semi-finals, it just isn't good enough. So I'd get rid of him. Long term. You've got to replace him. But yeah, I'd say, sorry, you have to go. You're just not good enough. Because Zagallo certainly isn't good enough. He's not up to the standard of Man United. Greenwood, at the moment, isn't up to the standard of Man United. Martial, I'd say he's probably around about the level of... I mean, he's not the level of Ollie. He's not as good as Ollie was as a centre-forward. Not as good as Cole. Not the same sort of player as York. But yeah, around that level. But is one of those good enough? No. No, so I mean, as I said before, I would be quite ruthless with this team because I think you have to be. I think you're in a situation where if you want to move forward, you've got to really cut the fat. And that's why, as I said, De Gea, if he can be sold this window, let him go. You've got some very good goalkeepers lining up to replace him with Henderson and Romero. So let him go. Yes, he's been a servant to the club. He's been paid handsomely for it. The last few seasons, he's looked a bit dodgy. And with that being the case, if you can get money for him, let him go. Confidence, that's the key. If the defenders in front of him who aren't brilliant aren't that confident of him, then that causes problems all over the pitch because of him. So I'd get rid of him for that reason, if you can. I mean, there's no point having him there and replacing him with Henderson because that's not going to be a good situation. That would just damage confidence within the team anyway. Yeah. I mean, you don't want someone paid that high just sitting on the bench, really. So there you go. That's what I would do. If I could, and that's what I want to see happening at the club. You've got to trim the fat because you've got a wage bill, and if you're going to attract the best players to come in, what we need is a subs bench that is a good bench of players. Players that can come in and impact. We haven't got that. We didn't have that yesterday. The reason why no subs were brought on until very, very late is because there was no one on the bench worth bringing on at all. And when you look at the players that are missing, Shaw was missing. But if Shaw wasn't on the pitch, would you have brought someone on to replace him, thinking that would change the game massively? No. You wouldn't have done that, no. So, the bench. But as I say, James, let him go. Let him go. If you can sell him for sort of near to the amount of money you paid for him, let him go. It's a failure so far. It's not working. He's not having an impact when he comes on the pitch. So either give him another season, maybe, and if he can change enough and develop a style of play where he can still use his pace. He's just got to change his style from whack the ball forwards and sprint after it. Get past players that way. To just do it in small spaces. He's got to improve on that. His bits of dribbling. So go and do what Ronaldo did. Take a football, run around the corridors of Man United. Zigging and zagging. Improve your skill in close quarters. Because if he can do that, then he can have a massive impact, in the penalty area. So, again, coaches, I would say something that's important. They need more first-team coaches. They just haven't got them. Not of quality. They've got 2 incredibly young coaches, and that's not helpful. So I'd get rid of. I would. If there was a space on the under 23s, I would move Carrick down a level. I don't think he should have been anywhere near the first team as a coach. Being so inexperienced as a coach. It's all very well having ex-players there in the dressing room. But, they've got to be able to really add something. Clearly, when it's mattered, he doesn't have an impact at all. I mean, Solskjaer doesn't have an impact, but, you've got to have someone there who's going to have an impact. Well, Solskjaer doesn't. Phelan doesn't. Carrick doesn't. McKenna doesn't. So someone's going to be brought in who's going to have an impact. So coaches-wise, they're going to improve that as well. Director of football would be really useful. It's something the club's been talking about for a number of years now. And so that's something they should do. It's all very well talking about it. Get on with it, do it. Again, I think the problem is the Glazers are happy with Woodward because he's made them lots of money. All they care about is money. So, as I've been saying for years, until the money starts to drain and the Glazers feel that, they're not really going to do anything like bring in a director of football and have that director of football actually have any power. So, I mean, maybe Woodward himself would suggest to them that they do that. Never do know. Right, you take care. God bless, and I will speak to you soon. Bye-bye.